Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning. Today, we're going to be opening up another wave of Mcfarlane toys. These three are all from the same set. What's really exciting about these is we got the Batman armored Azrael. Super excited about that. But with this Flash, I really think this Flash is packaged cooler than any toy I've ever seen. Just the fact that he's basically in mid-stride and running. And one thing I want to say that's even cooler is when you get the 2-pack of Red Death and Flash, they gave you an open mouth kind of angry head sculpt, and this one we get kind of like a smirking head sculpt. So I mean, it gives you a reason to get that other one even though you already have this figure. Mcfarlane Toys is firing on all cylinders. I mean, have you ever seen a company come out this fast with a line? One, they go from pre-order to market really fast. Two, the characters. These characters are insane. Now, I know some people have said they're kind of mad that it's DC Multiverse line, but it's all Batmans. Let me tell you something. That's basically all the DC Universe is, and that's all it's going to be here pretty soon. If you haven't been paying attention, DC went through 2 rounds of firing people. AT&T has no care for DC Comics, basically publishing books. They fired a bunch of veterans in the first round, and then in the second round they let go of a bunch more people. It's kind of sad. We're watching DC Comics kind of die. It'll still be around from what people think. It'll still be Superman and Batman and mini-series and everything, but they're going from 127 books down to like 12, and they're going to be monthly books and stuff like that. I've said this before, but this is SJWs who killed the comic industry. They just did. They created characters and stories and situations that we just don't care about. But that's what toy collecting is so great, because at least you have these figures immortalized of the stories you like. Because at least we'll always have DC's back catalog for these characters. But let's go ahead, let's pop these open, let's kind of see what they're all about. So first, we'll start with the one I'm least excited about. I like the Joker, but I don't really dig the red around his eyes. And I know this comes from the Justice League story that Scott Snyder was writing. So I know it went Dark Knight's Metal, and then it went No Justice, and then Justice League. I just never pulled myself around to really going that deep into those ones. We do own basically the whole first 30 issues, but when you get behind reading comic books, you fall behind, and you really only want to read the ones you care about the most. So, right away, we got this little card. You can see that this is kind of what they were going for with the redness around his eyes. They just kind of overdid it. It says right here, Justice League, number 8, Comics 2018, real name unknown, height 6'1", weight 160 pounds. Once a small-time crook, the Joker fell into a vat of chemicals that turned his skin white, his hair green, and his lips red, like a crazed clown. His crimes always involve pranks and jokes, ending with twisted punchlines that are only funny to the Joker. He may look like he's clowning around, but this guy is bad news for Batman and Gotham City. It's so funny when they have to put the trademark on everything. So, let's see. One thing I do dig is this really has that old feel to the Joker. It's a really classic looking suit. I just happen to think that his eyes look like they were a little overdone, but it's something that could be repainted. Or you could maybe grow used to it. I don't know. I've only seen him in his package so far. Alright. So, first I always like to, wow. You know, the texture on his pants reminds me of the texture on the Prime 1 Arkham Asylum Joker statue. And then the texture on his shoes, his boots, is pretty wild. I guess nowadays that 3D printing is so prominent. Look at that. Look at how posable that is. His hips do not swing out, but they swing up. I mean, that's pretty nifty right there. That's more posability than most toys used to have. I mean, you can... That's pretty cool. I gotta admit, that's way awesome. With 3D printing being so prominent nowadays, we really get some outstanding texture on all of our statues and toys and everything. So much to the point that I think future generations are gonna be so unexcited about the texture. It's just gonna be so overdone. It's kind of like you love to see things that were hand sculpted nowadays. I mean, this though blows me away that he can do this. That is just awesome. And that his little coattails are like a rubber. So his shoulder here, you can see we have an inner joint that allows it to rock up and down. We have a swivel. We twisted our bicep as well. Our elbow double bends right there. So we can really get some close in. Oh, and our wrist has a little joint that goes back and forth. If you take a look at his glove, you can see this nice little leather texture in here. I'll say this. I was turned off by his eyes and how plain his stance kind of looked at first. Having him out, I do think the red should be a little less than it is now, and that could be easily done with a little bit of paint. But this toy is absolutely awesome. And I was not expecting him to be something I thought I'd be like, you know, he's cool, he's part of the line. He twists here at the hips. Really some good articulation. I almost said posture. What I think is going to be cool is the Arkham Joker too. I hope he has a lot of these same points. Our ankle rotates. I was wanting it to tip forward a little bit because I think he's going to have a little bit of a weird time kind of standing straight. It's almost like he locks his knees backwards when he stands. So, let's see here. We're missing. We got a crowbar. And we got the extended barrel revolver. Kind of that classic older comics. I think a lot of people really kind of know it from '89 though. When he pulls that real long pistol out of his pants. Phrasing, I know. Alright, fits really well in there. Kind of got him doing the same one we did for Jack Napier on the White Knight toys. But there's that. I feel like the crowbar is meant to go in his same hand, but I mean, he can hold them both. It's a little awkward to put it in that hand, but and it don't look bad. All right. I do think that some of these toys' holes on the bottom are too big for their pegs. All right. So that's our Joker. Now this one was my favorite of the line from the early shot. Just the lineup is what I thought this would be the one I wanted the most. But I do dig the Flash. I think the Flash toy looks sick, and you can see he has a bunch of texture too. But this Joker definitely stands on his own. Now, we got the Curse of the White Knight. I feel like the story started out really strong. I sing about Sean Gordon Murphy's White Knight, how amazing it is and everything. Curse of the White Knight started out insanely awesome, and I love Jean-Paul Valley. He's one of my favorite characters, to be honest. But the story was awesome until the very end. And then they kind of lost me with it. I won't ruin it. Let's say this. At one point, if you were paying attention, Sean Gordon Murphy was compromised by SJWs on Twitter. It's kind of like how Scott Snyder bowed down to the SJWs, and the thing is now the SJWs are losing their platform. But I don't know what to say about them. It's kind of like it makes you unexcited to see where this goes forward, because the Harley book to White Knight, you may have a completely different feeling towards it, but they're kind of making Harley like a Mary Sue. Like, she's the best at everything. Watch out, she's woman, hear her roar. And it's like, that's not what makes a compelling character. Harley's so awesome because she's so conflicted. And I get it, it's like, hey, I'm a single mom and I don't like my kids and that stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I'm not buying the Harley story so far. I read issue 1. I know it was Sean Gordon Murphy did the cover. Some other dude did the art in the inside, and then a woman wrote it. And I have nothing against female writers by any means. It's just when they don't write, it's when they basically pull the Rey, like Star Wars thing, that I don't dig. Now, what just happened? Alright, so I've looked all over and I reviewed the footage of what we were doing and everything. I literally got an Azrael that missed its QC. It is missing his shoulder piece. I already set it up with Amazon as a return, and we'll be getting a replacement. We basically just take this up to a Kohl's, and then they send it off for you, and I got a replacement coming. But we'll continue on with this one. So I noticed when I got him out, his cape was out. You tuck it under his shoulder armor. I'm really glad I opened him now so it didn't go down the road and would have been a problem. Ours has been kind of bent here, so I mean, it'll be nice to get a replacement for him. It did kind of straighten out just playing with it. This figure though, I gotta tell you, in person, he is dope. He is awesome. He's a beast. He's hulking. I mean, just look at how big his shoulders are. I mean, he's a big guy. One of the coolest parts in the White Knight, Curse of the White Knight, it basically, a guy is going into this like hangar, and he goes in and he sees Azrael sitting there, and he just looks so big, and the guy looks so small in comparison to him, because Jean Paul is a big guy to begin with, but in this armor he just looks so much bigger. But it's really cool because if you read the book, I'll tell you this, Jean Paul Valley is kind of dying of cancer throughout the whole book, and he's on his death mission basically for God. And by the time he gets to this suit, he's swinging around the city, and he lands with a huge thud, and he just throws up, and it goes like right out through his mask. And it's just, you just see this man who's like at his breaking point, and he's still just going around. I don't know, it was really cool, really nice to touch for the character, I think. One thing is, let's see if we can get our sword to go in this hand. If this was the one I was keeping, I would have probably heated that up to fit that in there. But yeah, he's definitely cool. Not having that shoulder piece is a bit of a bummer, but I'll tell you what, we'll put him in another video when he does have it, and we'll talk about it then. A good way to kind of compare these is you get Azrael. This figure was absolutely awesome. And then we got Azrael in the Batman armor. You can tell he's taller. Whoops. My bad. You can tell he's taller, and he's all around just a little bit bigger than the other one. You know, it's funny, he has bigger calves though over here than he does on this. This other shoulder piece is different than this. It's completely separate. The sword is cool. We got the same sword. One thing I will say, if you haven't seen it, come in close, take a look at that sword. You see Jesus on the cross. Very cool little detail there. You can see in the back, he does have a pretty cool cape. Very cool. I like this little collar. It's kind of Sean Gordon Murphy's, or let's just say Sean Murphy's kind of trademark for his Batman was that collar. At the end of Curse of the White Knight, Batman and Azrael do fight it out with swords, and the whole time it seems like Batman's kind of on this path to kill Azrael, because a lot of stuff goes down in that book. But I'll let you read it, and then we'll come back, and maybe we'll do a spoiler-filled talk about the comic. Oh, I guess I should read this to you. So we got Batman, Curse of the White Knight, number 8, Comics 2020. Jean-Paul Valley, 6'4", 250 pounds. I told you, he's a beast. War veteran, Knight of the Order of St. Dumas, and now the Joker's key recruit in the crusade against Batman. Azrael is the Dark Knight's most powerful new threat, and one living link to a devastating secret about the Wayne family's legacy in Gotham City. In an effort to overthrow Batman, Azrael dons an armored batsuit of his own and threatens to take control of the city. You can see here, this was a really cool cover. It was the last issue of The White Knight. One kind of cool thing is Bruce pulls out the '89 Batmobile when he goes off to fight him. That was really cool. All right. We got the Flash. We'll do his card first this time. We got the Flash number 1, Comics 2016. Real name Barry Allen, 5'11". Hey, he's my height. Weight 179 pounds. In a freak lab accident, forensic scientist Barry Allen was struck by lightning and doused with chemicals, which gave him the superpowers of the Speed Force. Now he uses these powers to defend his hometown of Central City and the rest of the world from the forces of evil as the Flash. The fastest man alive can run up the sides of buildings, across oceans, and around the world at light speed. He can also vibrate his molecules to phase through solid objects. Very cool. I will tell you, it would have been cooler if it was Ethan Van Sciver's Flash. I do dig that we get all these little pieces of lightning that come with them. It's going to be an odd one. It is nice that they're all taped in here. Now, at least he came with all of his parts. I do not hold that on Mcfarlane toys. I get it. I know these things happen. And they probably have a company doing the actual manufacturing of these. So, I mean, things happen. It's not like how Prime... Well, think about this. Prime 1, they set all their statues out. They put them all together, and then they box them, and then sometimes you get the thing and it still doesn't fit together quite right. Had that happen with a few of them. Same with XM, same with all of them, Sideshow. But, so, that's how he came in the box. Right off the bat, very posable, cool. There's the smirking face. You can see in here all this texture. Just lines, basically, but, you know, it's nice. And then his flash, his symbol's kind of sticking out, and you can see down into it, the little white circle. Ow, knee pinched my hand. One thing I will say that is kind of bothersome is that we get a hand with an open palm and a hand with a closed, a fist. So, I mean, if you want to do any other pose, he's going to look a little goofy. So the only thing this Flash toy is really going to be able to do is be running. So we got a hole on his back, I would imagine. that's not the one that goes in there. So it'd be this one. And I'm doing it upside down. So we got the lightning coming off his back. Let's put him back in his running pose. You really need that foot to be able to kind of hold that in there. So what I would imagine, that one goes in his foot. That's very cool. This one will probably go in his arm. Oh, you know what? The long ones would be for his legs, because he is tearing through that one there. That one there. These ones will go on his arms. All right, so the way they had him in there was basically kind of a blueprint for how you should be setting yours up anyway. So he'll be a very cool figure to just have posed. I guess we need more of the stand under him to really give him some kind of leverage. You really want that foot to be able to go in the air, I guess. Alright, after a couple more minutes, I figured if you layer this over his base, it basically gives it enough balance to keep the base down, to keep him from tipping, but at the same time, you gotta kinda, there we go. Now I will say, this Barry Allen is sick. He's cool, I like it, but I don't like how this is kind of the only way he's meant to be. He's not meant to really be posed any other way, but he's so posable. So it's like you kind of waste a figure on this pose that you're kind of forced into, and it's just all off those hands. If you had two more kind of normal hands, but I mean that's how they all are. Some of them kind of have gimmicks, you know. It's better than some of the old Mcfarlane toys. Mcfarlane toys are always beautiful, but you'd have a Spawn that was meant to be posed one way, and if he wasn't, you just look so weird. That this ain't bad. And I really think with our other Barry Allen, we are gonna get all the same kind of lightning and stuff with him, but we have two hands that are kind of like this. So our Red Death, we have an open one and a sort of kind of gun-shaped one, but we'll see. It's so funny because it's Batman negative Earth 30 or Earth negative 52, but it's like, you know, he's Red Death. One thing that's cool is they come with this nice little base to put him on, but we'll open up him in his own video. We'll keep this one short. We'll keep it to right here. I will show you how this Batman turns out with his other piece of shoulder armor on, but as you can see here, I mean, that's an upsetting mistake, but I can see past it at the moment because we are getting a replacement. Now I'd be really bummed if these things were sold out, really hard to find, and there was no way to get that replacement. That would be a bummer. It would be a real bummer. In the package, you couldn't see it, but we had to check and make sure I didn't just drop it or something, which we didn't. I really gotta say that after the Joker, getting him out of the box, he is definitely a lot cooler of a figure than I thought he was gonna be. His texture, everything, he turned out to be really cool. Well, here they are. I think they're awesome. We do have the death metal. No, we ordered the death metal bike. We have the metal set as well, the 6 Superman and the Capullo Batman and the little Robin. We're getting a couple Robins, but it takes forever for these things to get into Big Bad Toy Store. Big Bad Toy Store is great and all, but they still don't have the other Knights. I mean, if you can't find them, I would definitely go through there. But Amazon has kind of become the hub for Mcfarlane toys, and as much as I don't like using Amazon, it's very convenient and it makes it easier. It just sucks because they kind of cancel out the little guys and these big, huge, monstrous companies that didn't have to lock down or anything, or taking in all these profits while people are losing their businesses. But I dig these ones. I think they are awesome. I really do like them. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. I hope you're going out toy hunting today, because everyone knows how much fun that is. I definitely will be. I'm going to go out and see if there's a couple things I'm looking for. They're Spin Master related, which I do got to shout this out. Look at that. We found at Target. That is a Bane in a black Batman suit. He was like a second wave Batman with Bane. And then we do still got to open this. This is a Costco exclusive, and it's the armored Spin Master with a Batmobile that he can lay down in, which does not make sense. The Batmobile looks way cooler for, you know, one of these size figures. So you can definitely get that Batmobile out, use it for your Mcfarlane or your DC Essentials Batman, something like that. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you're gonna have a wonderful Saturday and have a great weekend. Most of all, keep buying toys. Ha ha ha!